Signal screens. All right. I don't know if it's a good name for that, but there's a Discord channel that was born yesterday called Signal Screens, I think. I don't know. It's naming suggestions. I'm open, but that is where I will be posting MarketSpy setups for you guys to check out, because so far, it's been very chaotic in our Discord, and I was posting my setups on YouTube. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to what's on YouTube, but there's been like a setup after a setup after a setup after a setup after a setup that I have been posting that basically gave you money, free money, if you were following it. Directionally, it was 100% on point, and I don't take credit because this is all due to the magical functionality of MarketSpy. And today I posted a short setup. As soon as this printed, I was like, we're going short. So we have a punch out, we have fresh levels. The first level is tagged, and we're going to tag the lower level, maybe, I don't know. But this could also be a bidding area. What am I even, like, bring it up. This could be a bidding area right here. The level is tagged, money is printed. If you're following that, if you're sitting here like it's your work desk, which my Discord, our Discord should be your work desk. This is what you're here for. We're not like the other groups where you just get to hang around and receive late updates or signals. I am giving it to you a day ahead most of the time, intraday setups. And I understand some people are aiming to get into swings and all that, but we're professional, systematic traders that are paying attention to whatever it is that's happening within the time frame of a daily candle. All right. And this daily candle started off looking positive. And if you don't have MarketSpy, you would think that maybe it'll keep going up. But then, but damn, right? And that's that. So I don't know. Kind of sucks to be a non-MarketSpy. Non-MarketSpies, they have to rely on guesswork. Not us. We just do what the system shows us. So anyways, first successful setup. Channel was created yesterday. I gave you one play yesterday. I was talking about how we're going to be going long, and all day long we were long. I don't know if you were, I was long. I made bank, I over leveraged 10% of my account. It can buy you a new car, but I'm gonna tuck it away into my savings, obviously. And we're back at it again. We're back at it again with yet another short. I have nothing. I have 0.08% on my account because I used extremely small amount due to the stop loss placement that I decided to put at the peak. I don't know why, but instead of putting it at minus 0.5% level over here, as per the system, I decided to be safe and put it over here, mainly because after I posted this, I got into a trade and I walked away, and so my risk calculator gave me a very small amount of contracts that I can trade, but still I'm aiming for 1% overall throughout the week, and net 1%, losses included and whatnot. But yeah, one level hit, and we've got another level to go, baby. Now once that gets hit, congratulations, you have your two perfectly targeted areas of interest. You have a GPS dot right here, so maybe if you're just seeing it now and you're like, yo, well, this is a good area to know, it's not, because systematically, algorithmically speaking, the algos right now may totally reverse this thing up and start chopping it sideways, and so it's not a good idea to be short now. Instead, what you're doing is either, if you still have Poet, I mean, it's usable, it's just it's not being updated right? There's a new thing that's coming out called MarketSpy Tactics, which will be a rebrand, and pretty much like everything that you knew about Poet will be there. Very familiar structure, operation-wise, is the same. So I believe it was the most effective trading terminal that I have built, and compared to everything else is out on the market, it's too convoluted, too complicated. Everybody tries to be professional. We need something simple that gets us in and out of the market fast, right? Because we're combining it with a system, MarketSpy in this case. And MarketSpy is never wrong. I know it sounds arrogant to say that, but you, as the ingredient, can make it or break it. So you'd be wise to stick around and actually watch that channel closely, the signal screens, because I'm gonna tease you with a trade recap right after that. Whether it's a losing or winning trade, I'm gonna go into the trade recap, and you're gonna be wondering, like, why are you not participating? Okay, especially if you don't have the system and you're just dwelling in this Discord for God knows what reason. But you know, you're always welcome. But yeah, and this video right now, I'm recording it for the signal replay because I'd like to be able to do video recaps as well. And that's just the format that I decided to go with, that I think is mutually beneficial for you and me, and for everybody. Not really for me, because, you know, I could just be sitting here and doing this myself without sharing anything. But you know, I feel like there was an exchange involved at some point. For my platoon members, I know you have been away busy with life, but you do have the option to book a one-on-one call with yours truly, and I'll make sure I run you through all the strategies, all the tactics necessary to get you to that point of no return where you're like, this just works. Okay, unless you're super slow, there's no way you can not make this work for you, you know. So there's that option for the platoon members only, and for the rest of the people in the future, because MarketSpy is so intricate and is so precise. Not only are the prices going to be up after the version 8.5 gets released, which will have a lot of refinements, a lot of advantageous alpha built into it, but also because I am done playing the small game. I am done trying to convince people that this can change their lives. I believe I have changed enough lives, and to me that's enough karma in my little pouch of lucky, and I'll just hang on to that. You know, if I have made a difference in your life, I really appreciate it. Though it was never about me making a difference. It was all about making you realize. And if you have realized a thing or two on this trading journey, whether you realize that strategies don't work, or all of this is not my thing, or whatever it is that you realize, as long as you realize something, you know, that's good enough. And if it benefits you, if it makes you profitable, that's good enough for me. But for the hardcore owners of MarketSpy trading system, you know, I'm always going to be there for you to assist you. I just need you to ask more questions. I need you to not feel shy or feel like someone's going to judge you. Screw everybody, okay? I'm talking to you, my friend, specifically. Don't worry about anybody else. Post the dumbest, most ridiculous questions that you can come up with, because from my perspective, they could be unique questions that I have never been asked in my life. And so, that being said, you know, I do want to be able to help you as much as I can. We have a meme post. We have a meme post in our Discord. Do not trade on a phone with a curved display. Oh man. Yeah, you know. Emojis. Why are you so lazy tagging these posts with emojis? This is hilarious. A lot of you guys, I noticed, you're like Alex. Alex is the only one and a couple of others that actually react with emojis. But emojis is such a boost in like amplifying the camaraderie. You know, so it's good. It's like it's a token of appreciation. So get on that emoji gang. Get on that emoji gang. You know what I'm saying. Why do I sound like this? It's morning time for me, so I'm really excited about what's happening on these charts. You know, the one thing that needs to be made perfectly clear is that you are not restricted to just shorts. Think of it this way, right? Whenever somebody, here's a little tip, here's a little alpha. Whenever somebody posts a trading setup, whether it's my Discord, whether you go somewhere else, and you see somebody go, oh, you know, we're shorting now, and you come in like 2 hours later because you were there busy with your kids or your girlfriend or whatever, or your dogs or your gym, you come back and you're like, man, I missed it. Actually, you didn't miss it, because those are shorting who are shorting. They will be taking profit at some point. And because of that, you can actually start bidding and like I said, you can still use Poet to cast a ladder. I think basic functionalities work. It may not. I think Bybit API that is connected to Poet being a brokerage platform, you still have access. It's just that I told them that I'm not maintaining it and rebranding. So Bybit, what they did is they lifted the unlimited. So we had institutional, what do you call those? Like unrestricted API calls, basically, and we had faster frequency. We had a pipeline that was plugged into to Poet, but now it's just gonna be slower version of what it was before, but it still works, right? So you can just use that until MarketSpy Tactics comes out, and then you're good to go. You're safe. It's gonna be top security level, local installation only. You know the deal. And this time the software will be signed properly by Microsoft, so that, and the Apple Store, so that there are no workarounds needed. Right. So use that and cast a ladder. When others are shorting, you can be buying a level. I gave you the levels. Doesn't mean you're shorting from now, because you missed out on the train. Look at the red candles. Look at the consistency of it going down, right? Daily level opened up right here. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Forget about, you can stay on UTC, Universal Time. You can be local. I have mine set on +9 over here because I'm Tokyo time, Seoul time. But you can do whatever you like. And with MarketSpy, and this update in particular is going to give you like these levels that extend all the way to the session, and just that visually so there's predictability of like where price will stay. And the likelihood of these levels breaking out is low, because they're supported by higher time frame levels such as the weekly and the monthly, which are much bigger. This is a daily setup right here. We're going to be trading intraday, so that's enough for now. But we also know we're floating above respectable levels on weekly time frame and monthly time frames. So this means that throughout the day, we're likely to be chopping between the green, the white, and the red lines. The green over here, this over here, and then you have your red up there. Yeah, and you know, I wanted to show you what tea we're drinking, but I opened this beautiful package of this tea called Dahong Pao. Remember I talked about that? Check it out, the Rising Phoenix. So this is I don't know if you can see, but it should say, I don't know, you can't see, but Dahong Pao Qi series comes from Wuishan, the Wui Rock Mountains in wise old China. And you should try this tea. Find Dahong Pao, use it, have a trading session. Listen, I cannot give you clarity of mind. This tea can, okay? The older the better, the more expensive also, but you know, find your middle ground and just enjoy. You can have daily tea, premium tea for special occasions, and then you can have your morning tea, evening tea. They're all different. You want to go for oolongs in the daytime and morning time. Yeah, so all tea is green tea. There's no such thing as black tea. And you just have to understand that they're roasted and fermented in different ways, and that's what makes them, they oxidize and they go dark. So it looks like it's black leaves, but actually, so you want to have none of that powder shit, okay? Like Lipton and all that Ahmed tea. You don't need that. You need loose leaf stuff like this, right? This is the good stuff. The bigger, the looser the leaf, the better. The deeper the flavor, the more clarity it gives you for your mind. So this is excellent food. If you feel like munching on something, snacking, if you're sitting at the charts and you need to have a little snack, just get rid of that idea altogether. Replace it with tea, okay? Make it your habit. Just make sure to brush your teeth because it does stain. Look at that. you can't see, but it is white, off-white, right? And that's, you know, there's always a trade-off. There's always a trade-off. So the MarketSpy trade-off is that it doesn't come with an instructions manual. You either use it to build your own strategy, or you book a call with me and I run you through the actual 5 strategies that are included with MarketSpy that I have kind of sort of educated you about in my live streams and videos throughout the years. But my intention was never to give away the sauce and be a ridiculous clown saying that, hey, this is how it goes. Okay, now there's like some stuff like Punch Out, Mag 7 that is like set in stone. Like once you know how to identify that, like I said, one of my traders that I'm always proud of is Imran Mirza, and he posts to the P&L wall every once in a while. But what they have discovered is a Mag 7 strategy ended up working for them exclusively in that capacity. There's nothing else. We do have a combo strategy channel on our Discord now, which is Strategy Combos channel is going to be sort of like a hub where we talk about combining strategies for more advanced risk management scenarios where you might find yourself in a sticky situation, and we're going to talk about, you know, martingale techniques which should be avoided, but there's like versions of that that are mathematically more appropriate for what you're trying to achieve, which is profitability. And so Strategy Combos website, channel, is where that conversation will take place. So if you're interested, start posting and start sharing your setups, because this community is as much yours as it is mine. So anyways, so it's hesitating a little bit. You have your GPS line. Now, what you're going to see over here, right? So what you're going to see here is you're going to see a red dot printed somewhere on this slope. And when that red dot gets printed, you want to start buying. You want to start casting a ladder, or you want to, however you get into your trades, you know, you gotta buy the red dots. You see, this momentum MarketSpy X is based on trend wave, but it is different. It is much more frequent. It is much noisier for a reason, because these little dots over here, these little flags, these are points of, these are pit stops. This is where you want to get into it, buy the dip, exit, right? So it gives you much more flexibility, but by no means is it a reversal signal. We're only looking at the shape, not the actual symbolism of a reversal. So this is not a buy and sell indicator. It is much, much deeper than that. It gives you precise understanding of what the market is trying to do. So next time you see a dot over here, a failed momentum, it's going to be very sensitive to those changes in the market, and it's going to print that. But what we have found out through quantitative reasoning here is that that dot is going to be your trigger signal for an entry, not a continuation, sell everything, sort of this green dot failed. No, it's going to be almost like a fake out that tells you, hey, check it out. People are going to start freaking out. I want you to get in over here. Now, you want to be doing that when you're close to a level of support of some sort. And then you're pretty much bulletproof when it comes to this. So let's slow down a little bit. Let's slow down, and while I'm here, take advantage. Because who knows? I'm always with you, but sometimes, you know, I go away and I want you to be comfortable in your own company and repeat the things that I show you here. And maybe we'll wait. No, let's say another hour. Ideally, though, you know, I would prefer to be streaming. So I'm thinking of a setup where maybe you can help me with this. I'm actually reaching out to ask for your opinion, because I value what you have to say, my dear viewer. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe streaming the whole trading session, which is extremely taxing on my hard drives, my computer, and myself. But, you know, these short sessions, you know, they're kind of straight to the point, and I know a lot of people just don't have the attention span, you know, for and I don't have the attention, I don't have the time to be sitting here and editing videos. So I'd rather, you know, present to you things as they happen in this manner. But I was thinking maybe I should just stream the whole, like the duration of this whole setup over here till the end of the day. So an 8-hour session, and I might come and go, you know, and just kind of like vanish and just leave you with the chart. And then maybe you can look at this whole thing and be like, huh, okay, let's see what happens, right? And I can do a time lapse or whatever. So I haven't, you know, I haven't really figured it out yet. I don't know. I don't know. So stream it and then post it into the signal replay recap, trade recap section of Discord. So good. Da Hong Pao. Sometimes they call it Dai Hong Pao. I call it Da Hong Pao. Da Hong. And then Pao. So stream the whole thing and then replay this. Look how we're currently consolidating below pivot level. Right, you can see candles keep hitting it, and that's sort of like a little resistance zone right there. Now if we can flip above it, maybe stay above it for a little bit, and I think if they wanted to trap traders, they would do something like this, you know, and then maybe we have a whole day ahead of us, right? So eventually we're gonna get here. I'm not saying it's gonna be a straight line from here, but you know, I don't really have to explain this to you. But first level tagged, money in the bag. And if you don't take profit at these levels, you know, and you wait for more, I don't know if it's a good strategy. I don't know if it's wise to go against something like MarketSpy. To follow it is one thing, to go against it out of principalities or principles is another. You don't want to do that. I'm telling you, this is not a buy and sell indicator. When it prints shit, you better recognize what's being printed. One of our traders posted a good testimonial, and they felt like I helped them, you know, in our Discord, and I'm really grateful for that. But they did say that they ended up not using MarketSpy because I don't know if it's cost related or whatever, even though it's like dirt cheap for what you can literally make that back in one trade if you're serious about it. But you know, that's nothing compared to what the new pricing table is going to be like. I think it's gonna irritate a lot of people. So while you're here, you can subscribe. for a yearly subscription, and I'm gonna make you a lifetime member, because we don't really have that many people, and I'm not advertising it anywhere. And you know, I'd like to keep it all here inside of this Discord and be able to share things creatively. It's like, it's the reason why Van Damme, anybody, you know, towards they've had fun, they figured it out, and then now they just want to share. And people are so close-minded today when they come in and say, well, if this was really profitable, why would you not keep it to yourself? And you know, they're projecting that selfishness, thinking that everybody else should be as close-minded as they are. You know, a lot of us want to be, you know, there's more to us than just trading. There's more to us than just, you know, keeping this to myself and being greedy and insecure and thinking like, oh, this is the most amazing thing ever. Yes, it is. But there's no greater purpose than to serve others and to help others if you can. And that's what I choose to pursue in my life. You know, it goes beyond just trading. I support my family like everybody else does, my friends. I have given away so much, and for the benefit of others. And this is something that I simply choose to do. This is why a lot of these filmmakers, for example, Martin Scorsese, right? He goes out there and he does like movie courses, like cinematography courses. Are you kidding me? He doesn't need to like do anything, but he's out there offering his time in exchange for a couple of pennies, you know, and he's saying like, look, I have something that will change your life if you apply it. And it works. But my point is here is, you know, I cannot imagine not using a system for my trading. You know, it just happens to be MarketSpy, but it could have been any other system, but there's got to be a system. And I don't think, you know, if you made it work and you have 2 moving averages and that's all you need, I mean, damn, great. But I know for a fact trading desks, institutions, they have information beyond just 2 moving averages, and that's called an edge. And this is what MarketSpy is all about. There's a level of confluence that's not found anywhere else here, and the precision with which it formulates like these levels and actual sell signals or buy signals is unmatched. I know this because I know the people that were involved in testing this and bringing suggestions have serious backgrounds. This is not homebrew. This is not market cipher, despite the looks. You know, don't get me wrong. There was a very careful selection process in terms of what we should use as the base for momentum, as the base for support and resistance, as the base for continuation trigger signals and stuff like that. So I cannot imagine being a naked chart trader. I have never met anyone who has been successful long-term using simple tools, so to say. And I'm all for simplicity. And I think MarketSpy is so simple in presenting information using very complex background rendering of augmenting these candles with color coding and then the signal printing and everything like that. And context is king. And if you can just like learn how to listen, because it's telling you a story, and if you understand what it's trying to tell you, there's not much that you need to do mentally for this framework to serve you, to work. But anyways, I'm really grateful for people who have moved on and found something that works for them. I can say that a lot of folks came in here after having tried tens of thousands of dollars worth of, maybe even hundreds of, like I met this one guy. He shall remain unnamed, but you know him, he's part of our Discord, and hundreds and thousands of dollars testing all publicly available tools and eventually settling on MarketSpy, giving me feedback and saying that this has transformed the way they trade. And you know, so there's always two sides to every story, and there are other people who will forever be convinced. So you manifest your ideas, follow your thinking, and your thinking, it follows your ideas. And so if you think like a spy, you know, you will follow these trade ideas that I'm sharing, and it's not really me. This is unconventional. This is not like other what do you call them in the retail world? Call groups, right? They're calling it every day. We're printing over here. We're not calling anything. We're just straight up printing. And so here's the red dot, right? Now you want to be scaling into this as it continues to reach the bottom, the ground level over here. So you want to be getting ready to scale into this dot as it happens, because it's going to give you another wavy wave over here. And judging by the looks of the acceleration of price falling here, it looks like there's going to be a mini divergence where it will essentially force price to come back up, maybe to this level that it struggled. And this is where you will have your long setup that you can trade instead of being late to the game and saying like, okay, I'm skipping today's, because intraday MarketSpy will always give you an opportunity. And I'm not seeing any alerts. I have punch out alerts set up across time frames. I have one on the 5-minute, 15-minute. So for intraday traders, your 5 and 15 is probably the best middle ground. Hourly is kind of too long because you've got about 8 hours in a session or thereabout. And so when we come to about the middle of it, right over here, right, this is where things get interesting, because we might see a reversal. But for now, like I said, our analysis, not mine, MarketSpy's directionality here is just machine precision, right? So good stuff. Let's brew some more tea and see where this goes. I do want to record the whole video so that you can sit there and enjoy. And I'm telling you, get into this tea business. In the video that I posted yesterday, you snooze, you lose, right? And I'm not referring to my loyal supporters, to whom I will forever bow down, but bow down to no man, they say. I will bow down to a few men out there, the worthy ones anyways. But yeah, if you watch my video, you would know that I was giving away Solana, because I had a question. I said, you know, tell me what this figure is, who this man is, right? There's different ways you can take a screenshot, maybe circle to search on your phone and come up with a few suggestions of this figure. You can get these on everywhere, I believe, like handcrafted. It's a very famous figure. For those who know, they know. But this guy over here, basically, I said I will give you 1 Solana away. I was giving 1 Solana away for anyone who was going to name this figure. And Maros, my dear Maros, see, I know my traders by name. They came close. You said that this is or he can close. This is something to do with Taoism. And yeah, maybe it looks like that, you know. You got the beard, wise old man with a little hat on. But Jiang Taigong was his name, and I kind of explained in a post on our in the tea house chat room about who the guy is. So I'm gonna be doing these giveaways throughout these charting. So it's not even charting anymore, Mark. You don't need to chart anyway. I can't believe people are still using trend lines and all of that. I have been using trend lines back in the day for educational purposes, just to show you, like, you know, for example, like this. This whole the moving average is the trend line, basically. It's more flexible and adjusts dynamically to price instead of being a rigid trend line, which the markets are not. You know, you might convince yourself that they bounce specifically on a horizontal or a slope on any level, but it doesn't. It can go out of bounds. And what the moving averages here do is they allow this possibility of price to go out of bounds, and we have lots of confirmations before we take action on something like this. And that's what the whole purpose of MarketSpy is to confirm and grant you access to only the clean setups and avoid choppy areas. And it's really good at doing that. So let's just keep it moving. So the teapot that I have here is modeled after Jian Taigong. Is the exact shape of this man with a fishing rod, the spout being the rod and the body of a man. And that's I love this teapot, and like I said, you're not gonna find another one like these anywhere. This is custom made. It was a gift from a very famous Zen master. And yeah. You want clay. Clay brings out the flavor. It gets old and infuses tea with even stronger earthy tones, which is exactly what you're looking for in good tea. The infusion of elements. Yeah, so another thing that I posted to Discord, there's so many good things in Discord. But another one is, you know, you can trade from these charts. And if you open the channel over here, so this is my sub account over here, right? And I'm not using it right now. I'm trading with another account. But you can have a sub account, and you can also open a browser window. So this is a TradingView app that you're looking at right now that's running on my desktop. But you can also open a another window in your browser, log into TradingView, and then log into your main account. And for example, link that to your Poet or soon Tactics trading terminal, for example, or you can just trade straight from the browser window. And that's a very, very good way to be able to flip between two different instruments. Or trade with sub accounts, maybe hedging, using hedging techniques, which, you know, you probably shouldn't be using hedging But I'm not here to tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing. But when we talk about hedge mode on Bybit, for example, this is not quite the same as using options, for example. So you're not truly hedging. You're using something else. Okay, so 23.6 level. Look at the reaction over here immediately, right? This is why MarketSpy is important and should be protected. You see that? Look at that. Every level counts, and if you don't know how to distribute your profit taking across each and every point of potential resistance to where the price is going, then you're gonna have a hard time managing your expectations, greed, and emotions and stuff like that. So, you know, exiting early is not a problem for those who have a system that delivers consistently, because you can repeat the process and exit or enter very fast. But for people who are wanting to swing or hold their positions for much longer periods, you know, exiting early is probably stupid, because you did all the work, all the analysis, you drew your sticks across the chart. You're like, yeah, it's gonna go up to this level, I'm gonna hold it for a reversal. You know, it's up to you if you want to do a multi-day hold. And sometimes I advocate, especially on YouTube, I post swing setups that take weeks to complete, but eventually they do, without risking stop loss triggers and stuff like that. But you know, I want you to focus on intraday mostly, because that's what I do, and I advise everybody who has a MarketSpy system in your possession. You know, for the owners, I want you to tackle markets in this way. So already from this point in Discord, posted in Discord, a couple of hours later, we're down by almost 1%. And that's really, really good performance. And this happens every day. And so this is your final exit point. But of course, you're probably 50% out on the first level indicated by the circle over here. And then you're waiting to tag this level. And maybe this is where you start thinking about buying into for a reversal, intraday reversal. And I believe it's going to happen somewhere around this level. So let's just keep the tape rolling and see what happens. This is not a game, so short clips are not gonna work for the channel. I'm sorry, but you're stuck with these hour-long recordings or more. But I truly hope that they benefit you fully. I hope it brings you joy and peace and money. So where am I? Where am I? I kind of disappeared from the screen, didn't I? There it is. There it is. I wanted to also talk about something while we're here. And this is going to be my recommendation for a specific timer that I highly, highly recommend. And I strongly advise that you look into it and spend some dollars on it. So this is called Time Timer. Time Timer, okay? This is what it looks like. It's basically something that people at Google use to get things done. And the way it works is you rotate this dial. Let's say you set it to 15 minutes, right? And what that's gonna do is it's gonna start the countdown in reverse order. And then when it reaches 0, you have the option to ring an alarm. And that alarm, that beeping sound, only goes for like 2 beeps. It goes beep, 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 and that's it. You know, it's not annoying, kind of like keep going, turn me off thing. So every trader, I believe, should have this at their desk. And not only for trading, to time your sessions. So you set it to 1 hour, for example, and it's going to start the countdown. So it's much better looking at a timer visually like this, seeing the pie chart develop as it goes down, like so, than actually looking at digits and numbers and calculating. So this can just kind of this is the MarketSpy version of, instead of paying attention to numbers and levels, it just kind of gives you an overall understanding of what is happening with the chart, but this tells you what is happening with your time. And so every 30 minutes you can set it to do stretches, or you can set it to maybe time your trades perfectly and know exactly if 1 hour is elapsed or not. And you don't have to stay glued to your desk. You can just like set this up. And we're gonna do that. I'm gonna set it up for 30 minutes right now and see what happens. So it's called Time Timer. Okay, there are many fake versions out there, Chinese versions. They're also good, and oftentimes they come with added features such as longer beep durations or loudness adjustment or light. You know, this one doesn't have any light, but the other ones come with light, so you're in the dark and you're sitting in a dark environment. You can actually use it to see in the dark. So you press a button here, but this is the original on timetimer.com, I believe, their website. This is designed and engineered in the USA, so it's a local product, but manufactured in China, I believe, of course. $30 a pop. You can find it on Amazon or through their official website. I'm not affiliated. I'm just trying to supply you with the right tools that benefit you directly. And so, yeah, look into it. It's an amazing. It changed the way my kids study, the way I do work, in short bursts. I think there's a agile development or something like there's like something. There's a whole philosophy for software developers who are they're timing their activities, basically. You know, I use it for stretching and for timing the market. It goes up to an hour, and that's more than enough for an intraday trader. So set it up, walk away, and you can kind of look at it from across the room and know exactly how much time is remaining based on the pie chart. So, yeah. All right, guys. Take a lookie. Not going to be disappointed. 23.6 Fibonacci, daily Fibonacci level has been retested, and we're bouncing up indecisively. But this is where I think we might see some intraday reversal happening. Are we going to reach that tag level at the bottom? I don't know. Yesterday we were floating in between the levels. We never actually reached the top or the bottom. And so today I think we're going to see the same. And maybe we have been trading aggressively towards end of weekends. So maybe that's the new behavior for Bitcoin. Maybe there's not much activity here throughout the day. So if you're on a European or Asian time belt, you know, that time zone for you is this is when you stay active, right? And then nighttime, like yesterday, that's another. So it's gonna die off. Momentum is gonna die off midday, and then towards 9 p.m. Asian time, or New York time. It's the same thing. So the traders, they shift positions and they close over here, open over there, and vice versa. And hell, even if you're on like London or Australian time, it's still the same. You want to be aiming for that 9 p.m. mark your time, because that's probably going to be the midday. And there is some activity midday, but it's a bit slower, right? So just do not stop polluting your brain with information, okay? It doesn't really matter. Just see what's go and get MarketSpy. If you have MarketSpy, you already know what to do. All these other details, that's for other traders. I am telling you, system traders don't care about that. This is all that retail information about CPI numbers. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter, but you just have to worry about your stops, your exits, and proper entries. And that's it. That's it, no matter what the condition is. I want you to imagine that you do not have access to information or the retarded X account that you're following or whatever. Imagine you're just you, all right? Take responsibility as a trader. In the end, what matters is resolve, all right? Can you overcome your own limitations? Can you control your demons? So you have to look into systems, Drinking tea is a system that I want you to explore, that I want you to get into. It keeps you planted. It keeps you healthy. It works on your hunger issues, You're not munching on junk, on snacks. It makes you younger, sharper. You think cleaner. The thoughts are positive. Anger issues, we all have anger issues. I do sometimes. I get frustrated for no reason, and that's ridiculous. But that's a human condition we're dealing with here. It's not me, it's all of us. And so T helps with that. That's a system. MarketSpy is a system. That timer is a system, but you don't want to have too much. You just want to have enough. You need time management. That's all you need, right? No phones. Forget the phone. Throw that phone out the window. Unless you have a business to run online and you have to be constantly involved in admin dashboards and then all that nonsense. Chasing success. You let it come to you. I don't know how to explain it, but let it come to you. It's paradoxical, but it works when you stop chasing it. It works when you stop chasing candles. It just does. You have to believe it, and then it'll be the case. Right now, you can't believe it. Maybe you do, but for I'm referring to those that can believe. You're sitting there saying that the reality is different. The world is brutal. If you don't keep up, they will eat you alive. That's just your belief, a limiting belief. That's not how the world is. Why don't you want the world to be different? I want it to smell like flowers, and to me it does. You see? That's it right there. Attitude. We assume that martial arts, in certain martial art, like the softer martial arts, you assume attitudes. In Japanese, they are called katas, a form. So there's a defensive form, there's offensive form, there's neutral form, windy form. If you want to get into exotic martial arts, look into the gimmicky ninjutsu. Now, you might learn a thing or two. I don't care if you know, whatever Hollywood made it look like, it doesn't really matter. What I'm saying is, you come to realize that evasive technique is always superior to that of just brute forcing something or trying to defend yourself. Because if you're trying to defend yourself, defensive trading, well, let's talk about that. That means you're already fucked up. You're defensive because you're being attacked from every angle, and now you have to deploy strategies that defend you from your own doing, right? Offensive is when you lose that balance and you like, why are you being offensive? Where's the aggression coming from? Like, what are you trying to get out of it? So in trading is the same, right? But then evasive positioning, the evasive attitude is really getting rid of your opinions, being free from your own bullshit. What is freedom? Freedom from yourself is the ultimate freedom. That's what I realized. And I want you to pick up on that and maybe, you know, work it through your own understanding of what that might mean. But you know, if you believe that you have tried everything and there's only certain things that work and most of it doesn't work, then just stop doing the things that don't work. You know, so evasive attitudes, evasive techniques are going to save your life. Capital preservation, getting out of a negative trade immediately. I don't care if you're willing to hold or not. You're like, you know, you can average in a little bit, but that's only if you started with a minuscule size, minuscule number. And if you see the waterfall in the markets, you know, price just keeps going and there's no buyers. You're the only one. Why are you trying to be the hero? Don't be the only person in the market that's buying and everybody else is selling. So to be able to do that, you have to kind of, you know how in trading they say do the opposite of what everybody else is doing? The ability to listen, to follow, to submit, to be mentored is very difficult for people to do because everybody is sovereign. Everybody wants to have their own say. Nobody wants to listen. You don't want to join the others. If everybody else is selling, you're like, out of principle, you're like, you know what? I'm a different type of trader. I build differently and I'm going to do the opposite. And that's what most Twitter is all about, you know, ha ha ha, this and that, putting everybody else down. You should just do what everybody else does, what the majority does. Trading, the market is the only place where that might actually save your life. Do what the market does. And market is everybody else. Don't have this idea that you're going to be different just because it feels nice and you're rebellious in the spirit. Rebelliousness doesn't give you any benefits at all. So, evasive techniques are superior to those of defensive or attacking, offensive techniques. And then that extends to trading. You know, I find like a lot of this stuff, when it comes to washing dishes, to doing martial arts, to participating in the market, it's all the same thing over and over again. And that's pretty much all there is to it. And that's why I say we have to realize because this can only come from your experience. You know, no one can actually tell you how to do it. You just have to get there yourself. So look, the reversal off of that level. Remember that divergence I talked about? Where is it? Do you see? See that divergence? You wanted to buy this red dot spill, and that created an immediate divergence. And these are the things that you can kind of sort of predict before the algorithms pick up on this, believe it or not, before other people pick up on this. You just want to be doing what everybody... So you don't want to be going against the trend. You want to set the trend, and you want to be the one that's early, but not too early. You want to be early at just the right moment. And this is what we're talking about here. This is what the channel is all about. This is the platoon. Cryptopocalypse Now. This is MarketSpy. And so now this is probably going to reverse and come back down and start retesting the baseline. And it's going to sit here for a while, chop a little bit, and probably go back up to sweep like all the stops here, people who are late to the game, you know. Beautiful, beautiful setup. And the signal screens channel pretty much printed exactly what we wanted it to print. And is it a full-blown reversal? I don't. If we do go up, well, you want to be buying, and you want to be aiming for this red line over here. Simple as that. You want to be sweeping the top over here. You want to be coming back, recovering. But I don't know. This is a very strong impulse, so we will see where that takes us. But no green candles. We're not calling anything. White candles like that with an immediate MEXC setup. Just too early, I think. So maybe it's trapping people. Maybe it's calling for a chop. And that's how we're going to treat it. We're going to be now using ladders in my case. Like I said, you can use Poet for the time being to overcome your anxiety using single orders. And we'll just be like picking some up and then selling, picking some up and selling in the direction of where the candles are showing us. But not just white transition candles. We actually need them to come back down, retest the level, flip green, and then we can go with a single order long, much like what we had over here. So there's going to be another setup, maybe a punch out, maybe a MEXC that's in development. Right now, we're seeing very early signs of that, but the candle is in development, and this is a 5-minute time frame. So are we going to see those elements present here? And as we see them, you know, we will, that's when we angle in and tackle. Price action. Okay. I gotta go hit the utility room, so if you'll excuse me, I'll be right back. we're back. So one last brewing session over here, and let's see how much water I got left. So I decided that I'm going to time these recordings and streams according to the capacity of 1 liter bottle. And so it's about this size, right? Load that sucker in to the kettle, and we're good to go. So we just finished one. There's a little bit left, and that's a wrap. We're just gonna wrap it up after that. Right now, we can call this a momentum flip, and so technically, we have successfully reached this level, even though we haven't. This one, I would call this a successful tag, because directionally, if you were over here, it doesn't really matter, you made money. And you do have to take profit at these support or resistance levels, because you know they call me Crypto Ranger for a reason. I have made it my goal and my life's mission to basically trade ranges with extreme accuracy. I don't really care about trends for the most part. I want to survive the chop. And so when the chop happens, you know, that's when I come in and save you from uncertainty, right? All you have to do is just stay with me with this. Directionally, I'll always tell you. Actually, I won't tell you anything when there's a chop, because that's when we, if you're really good, you want to be trading the chop. That's the most money can be made there during intradays, because trends are, you know, they're a weekly occurrence, right? These are micro, small time frame trades that the trends here don't last as much, and I would argue that this is a trend, but obviously this is eyeballing levels. This is not precision, but if we can capture anything anywhere here intraday, then I would call that a successful session. That's pretty much all we need. And depending on the size that you're trading, you know, if your account is small, it is very difficult. You have to look at you know, you have to resort to the retail buy and hold strategy. People who just buy Bitcoin and hold, they don't know what they're doing, right? This is the safest bet. But if you want to trade this consistently, you have to realize these points that I'm highlighting, that exiting at resistance levels, doesn't matter what your conviction is so important. Understanding the system is so important. The retest points, the fake outs, the aggressiveness of the candles, the volume that's lacking on these aggressive moves. It all comes together to give you a very, very certain directional setup. And we might come back down here and sweep this square. And if that happens, you know, like I said, you're scaling in, because this is pointing up. This is a flip. We call this a MarketSpy flip, and it's gonna push price higher towards the previous peak, we have to assume. So in between levels, off of that 23.6 right here, back up to this level over here. And so we're probably going to print a punch out setup that's going to carry us all the way to 120, and then we're going to get reversed from there and then go back down again. And that's the characteristic of a normal intraday chop. And yeah, look at that. We have less than 5 minutes remaining over here on the time timer. It's going to give us a signal soon. We're completely out of water, and it's a great session. Thank you for watching once again. This time I'm posting this to YouTube because I want to have some feedback from you guys. Do you want me to keep it in Loom as I did yesterday, or do you want me to keep these updates rolling out to our YouTube channel? Whichever is your preference. Let me know. I'm not chasing views or anything like that. I just want you to be comfortable and enjoy this time together at the charts. Go. Last brew. The thing about tea, this stuff doesn't have caffeine. Remember that roasted fermented tea, there's no caffeine in it. It's gone. This is a 10-year-old tea, 15-year-old tea, so there's nothing in it. But it still has other ingredients that kind of rise you up in the same way that coffee does, but you don't have the hard crash after that. You don't feel as you do with coffee and you need another cup or something like that. This just kind of like brings you up there. If you're drinking green oolong tea, hella caffeine in that. But it doesn't make you jittery. It just kind of like rises you up there and slowly eases you out. And you want that as a trader. You want to be sharp. There it is. There it is, our timer. Just heard the beep. 3 beeps, and that's it. Timer, ladies and gentlemen. Really look into it. I wish you well, and this is why I'm recommending it. This is not some random thing that was on my desk that I decided to promote. Look into it. And we made some money over here. I'm gonna have a wonderful day ahead of me, I know, because the day started well. The day started with yet another MarketSpy banger of a chart. Very simple, very smooth. You know, didn't quite go. I took my profit when we started kissing that EQ1 the second time. We failed here. As soon as I saw this, right, the square, you had to take profit because, you know, it's a bounce off of that support. And so now maybe midday I'll come back to this, see how it restructures itself, and then maybe I'll flip long and just add to my account for the day. But in no way am I holding it down and continuously shorting in order to reach this. You know, I go with what MarketSpy says. That's it. And if it flips, even if it's a fake out, well, then I'm thinking, you know, I'm changing my mindset. I'm thinking, okay, where are we going? Not thinking about liquidity sweeps, stop losses, the hunt. You just go with what market makers are doing. It doesn't really matter. It's ridiculous to be saying that, you know, we have stop losses here, so this is where we're going. It doesn't matter. If I can capture this trajectory up to here, which is my resistance level, and price goes down because it can post a lower high, and then, you know, do this, I'm perfectly fine with that. And I think this is exactly what is going to happen on the intraday time frame. And if it doesn't, you know, we already made some profits, so it doesn't really matter. So that's just the simplicity of a good, profitable trading system. It doesn't mess with your mind too much. If you're part of the platoon, you can request a one-on-one with me, and I'll happily allocate some time. It's completely free, and we'll spend an hour drinking tea and going over your strategies and your requirements for whatever it is that your goals are. If you want to make some money, which we're not here for tea. Come on, let's be honest. We're here for the other green leaves, right? Right. So if that's the case, yeah, I'll spend some time with you. I used to reach out to people, and I used to babysit, and I used to say, "Oh, do you need any help?" This and that, and then I realized that that's just the wrong approach. You know why I have this fishing man? Go read the legend. This fisherman over here that fishes with a straight hook is there to remind me that I'm only going to be working with those who explicitly ask and believe that they will receive if they do. But I'm not reading minds anymore. So reach out, and I will never deny you, ever. You guys are family if you're part of this Discord, and that's how I'll treat you. So I don't know what your experience is with your immediate family, but when I say family, you know, I emphasize the idealistic, proper family setup where there's love, caring, compassion involved, understanding, patience, all those qualities, right? That's what I'm willing to share with you. So, all right, congratulations on another trade. If you were tagging along and keeping track of the channel, you made it happen. Or if you have MarketSpy, you probably did the exact same thing as I did, because I used to draw and share setups and say, like, this is where we're going, and I would explain why, and I realized if you have MarketSpy, I don't have to explain to you why. But if you don't, go to that Signal Screens chat, which is public, and see MarketSpy in action. The whole section is called MarketSpy Action. So you will be able to see how it performs, what it does, and then if you're interested, join the club. Thank you for watching. CR out. I'll CR later. One.